Hello, welcome to my weekly look ahead video. I thought I'd come out the office and I'm just behind the Downing Street garden to see if there's anything going on. I've not been to any parties there. I've put my case on my Facebook page in response to those many constituents who've written to me, quite understandably angered by what's been going on. So I've said my piece. If you haven't seen it, have a look on my Facebook page. But now back to what's going on in the business of Parliament this week. On Monday we have the final stages of the elections bill, which I'm supporting. It's controversial in some people's minds. Part of it is about having voter ID at elections. It's something that's happened for many, many years in Northern Ireland. It happens as a matter of course in other countries of the world. So I think it's pretty standard. I shall be voting for that bill to go on today. We've got tomorrow the Animal Welfare Sentience Bill, which I'm very supportive of. It's fulfilling one of our commitments about recognising animal sentience and beefing up penalties for people who for some reason need to be cruel to animals, and I think that's a universally popular piece of legislation. We've also got debates this week around energy prices, and I had a meeting with the Chancellor last week on what we're going to do with the big hike that's coming because of international gas prices, and I know there are going to be various measures announced there in due course. We're having a debate about that. We're also having a debate about forecasting and modelling during the COVID pandemic, because I've always been concerned that many of the rather more horrific supposed forecasts being made by some of the experts are in fact modelling worst case scenarios. So it's going to be an interesting debate. I hope to take part in there to say, look, we need to stick to the facts rather than worst case scenarios. And hopefully with the figures coming down this week, we are at last emerging from this latest wave. We've got the building safety bill, which in light of some of the announcements by Michael Gove last week about helping out people with this terrible cladding problem, there are going to be some changes there, which I support. We've got a debate on the Uyghur tribunals, China human rights. As I've said before, hardly a week goes by without the subject coming up in Parliament, and I should be there for that. There's an interesting debate about the detention of people with autism under the Mental Health Act, which is happening later in the week. And on Friday we've got a day of various private members' bills, but I should be down in the constituency. Rest of the week I've got meetings with the representatives from Taiwan, again talking about the China situation. I've got a really interesting meeting with a small charity called Waterloo Uncovered, which takes veterans with trauma from conflict and mental health problems to work on archaeology projects on the site of the Battle of Waterloo. Really interesting charity, and I work closely with, so I'm catching up with them. Got meetings around mindfulness, got a meeting about environmental impact of what's going on in the Antarctic. I'm meeting with the former Children's Commissioner to talk about children in care and various children's social care issues. Really interesting meeting with Gillian Keegan, the MP for Chichester, who's also the Care Minister responsible for mental health, where she's doing a meeting about the impact on mental health of the pandemic, which we know has certainly impacted on children in school to a large degree. I've got a meeting with the Blue Marine Foundation about environmental protection of our oceans, and then I'm taking part on a meeting in Yemen, which is the biggest humanitarian crisis going on in the world at the moment. The Home Affairs Select Committee, we had the opening part of our review into spiking, really interesting but really quite worrying evidence last week, and we're carrying on that with further witnesses this week. And then end of the week I've got various meetings with officers at the council and on Shoreham Beach. And the big event of the weekend is we say goodbye, alas, to Reverend Anne Wozniaker, the rector of St Mary's in Shoreham, who's been a fantastic vicar and a stalwart in the local community, and there'll be a special service to say goodbye to her at the weekend as she retires, and I'm sure everybody would like to wish her well. So a busy week, and if we can put Partygate on one side for the moment, get back to the business of Parliament, there's some important things going on.